everyone. Happy Saturday. My name's John Richards, and I thought I'd shoot you out a video. I know I talked to a few of you at Jenny's last party and our home meeting, and you kind of liked the video, so I want to kind of share with you something that came through. I did a 30-minute walk today. Anyway, first of all, I want to show you what a neti pot is. This is a neti pot. You guys were laughing about this, but this is something that I use every day, and it cleans out your sinuses. You put a little bit of warm Luke water in here and a little bit of sea salt, and pour it in one nostril, out the other, and do the same on the other side. It'll really clear you out. So really an incredible thing to do on a daily basis. It'll really clear you up for your meditation if you're a meditator. Also, I did a live dial call yesterday, and some of you didn't attend, and that's fine. I know some of you work a regular job, and I'm very fortunate because of some of the things I've been able to do at home. Now I can work from home full time. But I really want to zero in on what we really have our hands on here at FGX. I mean, we've got a ground floor opportunity, and some of you maybe are getting ready to take action or thinking about taking action, and nothing happens until that happens. So it's like in The Secret, the one thing that they didn't point out in The Secret. You can think all these great thoughts, but if you do not take action, nothing happens. So what I do, if there's only one thing that I can do during the day, everything you have, like my goal for FGX, of course, is to become an all-star, okay? But my next goal right now, because I'm a star 1, is to become a star 2. You should set those milestones, those intermediate goals. And how I'm going to do that is I have to identify the one thing that I can do every single day that's going to move me forward. So if I don't have time to, to maybe go to the meeting or to a call or whatever, what's the one thing that, such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? That's kind of a forcing question I ask myself. What's the one thing such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? For me, that's the phone calls. And some of you got a chance to listen to me make some phone calls yesterday. And I just, I have my list, and I talked to you a little bit about, what I use to do that with, and this is it. I got it at Staples. It's just an Adams S1185 activity logbook, and as you can see in here, I make notes in here, and here's the people I'm sending the presentation to. And if you were on the call yesterday, you heard that I get rejection just like everybody else, and I don't skip names. If I have 20 names on my list, I go one right after another because I'm going to get to them eventually anyway. Why skip them? Why go to the easy ones first? That's just, you face your fears. You feel the fear and do it anyway. Because what's going to happen is one of these days you're going to have somebody on your list and you're going to be afraid to call them. You're going to delay calling them. Then you're going to go to a meeting and they're going to be there. And because they've already been invited by somebody else. That's already happened to me. And I don't want that to happen to me. So, I log every call on here. Just from the calls I made yesterday, which I made about 30 yesterday actually, because when I say I'm going to do 20 dials a day, if I post on Facebook, I count that. So if I do 10 posts on Facebook to individual people, I count that. I do 20 a day and I'm done. So I do 6, and I do that 6 days a week. So I'm just going to suggest, I'm going to challenge everyone out there that's not done anything yet, that maybe hasn't got started, maybe has a little bit of fear, to just set yourself a goal to do 2 a day, 5 days a week. And once you do those 2, you're done. You just do it continuously. From the calls we did yesterday, we actually signed a lady up. And, and did I talk to her yesterday? I just did a follow-up call with her yesterday. Now, I actually planted the seed like a week and a half ago. And she emailed me back and said she loved the product, but her business was just way too busy right now to do anything about it. So, as just a challenge to myself yesterday, I called her during our call training, our live dial training, and she ended up signing up because I wanted her to know that she needs to get positioned. Even if she doesn't work it right now, she needs to get positioned. And also offered to make some calls for her, just like we'll do for some of you. Now, we won't do all your calls for you, but if you have, maybe your top 10 that's just scaring you to death, but you want to get it started and you want to get a little practice, Maritza and myself will offer to be on the phone with you and make calls with you, and I'll actually talk to the person. And I went over that script with some of you yesterday. You know, because what you got your hands on here could change your lives, plus it could change your family's lives. And if you don't do anything, nothing's going to happen. You know, and the word that comes to mind is consistency. You know, so if you're going to do 2 calls a day, 5 days a week, you got to do that consistently. Because let's say you bring somebody in and you're not doing any calls. You're not attending any conference calls. You're not going to any meetings. Guess what those people will do? They're going to do exactly what you do. I can remember in the last business I was in, had a guy come in. He sponsored 1 person without auto ship. Before we caught it, he had 20 people sponsored without auto ship. It just caught on like a grass fire. That's what duplicates is. So I figure if I'm making the calls, all of you see that happening, you need to do the same thing. And I'm not saying make 20 calls a day. What I'm saying is set a small goal. Everybody has to get to X Tribe. That's step 1. You know, set a goal when you're going to do that by. And I told you how to do that yesterday. Set it present, positive tense. I have now achieved my X Tribe by, put the date on there, write it down, look at it every morning, look at it every night. If you meditate and visualize, do that. And then focus on that and figure a way to get there. And then create a plan to get there. And I talked to you about committing to the process. Process is what I mean is those calls you're going to make every day. If you run into somebody at Subway, count that. You know, if you run into somebody at Walmart, count that. If you send 3 products out to somebody in South Carolina, count that. You know, and one thing I will say is this. Don't email a friend and tell them about this. They want to hear your voice. You know, don't text a friend and tell them about this. You've got to call them. Now, you can text them and ask them if they have time to talk, or you can email them and ask them when would be a good time to talk, but don't email them or text them and tell them about this, because that's just not personal. You know, you're sharing something that could potentially change their lives. You need to get the mindset that I want to help make their life better. If you do that, you can change people's lives with what we got in front of us. Maritza just got back from corporate office. She's been totally blown away by this thing. I didn't get a chance to go, but I have her, you know, as the testimony of what she saw there and what she met there. And it's amazing. What we have our hands on will change everybody's lives. You know, so, and then I will say this. There's a book that I've read, and now that Maritza's read, and she thinks it's an incredible book just like I do. It's called The Miracle Morning. So it's by Hal Elrod. You can probably get it on Kindle for $3 or $4. What I don't know, maybe get an audio book. I'm a big reader, and some of you maybe not are readers, but anyway, you know, The Miracle Morning is an incredible book. So anyway, I want you guys to go out and have an incredible Saturday. But if you have a call, training, call block today to maybe make 2 calls, get that done, put it behind you, go out. And I want to say one last thing, and then I'll end this. Sometimes I go long-winded. You guys probably know that by now. Willpower, if you have willpower actually kind of is something that goes down as the day goes on. And so if it's going to take a little bit of willpower to make those calls, you should block out the time to make those calls earlier in the day. Because you know as well as I do, if you wait till 5, 6, 7 o'clock, you're not going to do it. So what I do is I block mine early in the day, because willpower is not something that you have all the time. You got to kind of rebuild that every day. So if you're using willpower to get started, then make sure you do it earlier in the day. And if you need our help, we're here. We're here. If you need me to make calls with you, and I can't do it with everybody, and I can't do it all the time, but if you need me to make calls with you, email me, jwr111960@yahoo.com. I'm here to help you. Everybody here. So you have a great Saturday. Thanks.